Hey guys, Amandork here. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Peer to Peer. This is my podcast. I'm Amandork from Foster Decor Consulting. I'm super excited you're here because I have a lot of juicy tips that are sure to help your interior or e-design business. If you have any special requests, feel free to email me or DM me for topic ideas. I'm super excited to learn what the community needs help with, as that's what I do, is help my interior and e-design peers. If you have any questions, feel free to also ask away so we can also get to know each other and connect. Super excited you're tuning in. Thank you so much. Hey guys, Amandork here, Foster Decor Consulting. I'm super excited for our guest on Peer to Peer. Today we have Annalise. Woo! Yes! Annalise, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm Annalise with Social by Annalise. I started doing social media managing about 5 years ago. And so I mainly focus on interior designers, try helping them to kind of revamp their business, get new clients, kind of market themselves better so that their whole Instagram and Facebooks look pretty. And all of that, as well as engagement, talking to people, responding to DMs, all of
All
that
the
good
stuff I
stuff.
don't like doing, right?
Yeah, everything that a designer probably doesn't want to worry about doing, I handle that.
So the great thing about you, because there's a ton of social media managers out there, like literally if you look at hashtag social media managers, probably millions, right? What
There's
makes
a
you
ton.
different, because I have used a few in the past. You are my number one girl. We've been working together for a long time, but you've also been on maternity leave a few times. So when I've used other social media managers while we've had breaks, it's not as good because you actually are an interior designer. So tell us how you're part of the interior design industry.
Yeah, so I went to college and got my associate's degree in architecture and interior design. And
Yes,
so yeah,
girl.
all of that good stuff. So I've worked with designers doing AutoCAD, doing selections, doing all of the fun, all that stuff.
Right. Mhm.
And right now I work for a home builder doing AutoCAD
Oh,
during my day job. And then I do this as well.
that's awesome. And why are you passionate about social media? Like, I'm actually curious, like, why do you like doing the things I hate doing?
Well, for me, it's just fun following the trends, and it's just kind of something creative because I'm in AutoCAD all day. So it's kind of like, oh, this is nice. I can play in Canva. I can talk
Mhm,
to people on Instagram and find, new
mhm.
people to engage with and all of that. So for me, it's fun. It's a big change from working on the computer all day.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I get, the whole I'm going to help other interior designers do better with their business. I mean, that's my whole thing too. So I have a niche as well. I help interior designers. You do it as well, but you focus on social media. What is like your favorite thing that you do? The favorite part of that?
I think recently making quick reels, and we've been doing a lot more of that lately, and that's just a lot of fun. Finding like trending audios, just new
Mhm.
trends that we can be a part of is really fun. And editing. I love video editing.
Yes, you've been killing it with the ORC videos that we've been doing. So
Yay!
Annalise and I have been working together for years, minus maternity leave, but like she is a rock star. She helps me do all the things that I know how to do, but I don't like doing. So that's why I created the planned and scheduled out add-on service for my interior designers. I do their branding packages. We do these amazing, custom graphics for social media, and they just sit in the inbox because full service interior designers do not have the time. They're busy doing all the things, and I reach out to them like, hey, I haven't seen any of your stuff, scheduled out. Do you need help? So what I like doing is scheduling that content for my clients and making sure they have the right hashtags, because as you know, they don't use the right hashtags. Hashtag
Yep.
interior design is like in the billions now. It was in the
Yeah.
millions. I think it's in the billions. They don't use alt text. They don't use geolocation. So when I schedule things out, I'm scheduling out the beautiful graphics that we created together. But that's it. I do not do engagement. I don't look for clients. I don't, even deal with a lot of the other behind the scenes stuff. So the holes in that service, I always recommend, hey, you guys are ready for a social media manager. So Annalise, tell us about all of the things that I don't like doing, like engagement, because it takes so much time to nurture a client, to find a client, to respond and do all the things. Like, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that you're doing.
Yeah, and so I think the main thing that you don't enjoy doing is engagement, and that helps so much just to build a page and have loyal followers that are gonna comment and look forward to your content because you're also following their stuff and keeping up with them. And that's been something that's really great with the One Room Challenge is we can kind of connect with other designers, follow their project. They're following us along our project. So that's like a big thing that I do, and like making sure to respond to stories, react to people's stories, because we all know when you post a story and nobody reacts or nobody does the poll, it gets
Yeah.
discouraging. So when they see, oh, this person is like actually doing that, that makes like a big impression on people. So that's a big part of what I do that you don't do.
Yes, yeah, because I don't have the time, to be honest, and this
It's
is kind
very
of like
time consuming.
yeah, it's an in-between step. So I tell my clients, like, we're gonna make these beautiful graphics, specifically for Instagram and Facebook. And when I schedule them out, it goes to both of their platforms for business pages and things like that. So to me, it's a big step up from where they were because they don't have the time. Before we started working, they weren't even active on social media. So getting 2 months of content scheduled out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and stories on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I mean, the algorithm is like, oh, this inactive account is now active again. Okay, and it's almost like SEO for Instagram. Now you're building up in the good graces of the ever-changing algorithm, but at least, hey, we got some content going. We have custom hashtags working now, so you can get discovered by clients or being featured on maybe the explore page. But there's that huge missing component of you need to look for clients, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, and it's a little stalkery, to be honest. So you and I have had this conversation. We've even done, I think, a mini reel a long time ago about it, for a tip for interior designers. So let's talk about some tips that we can give interior designers when they're on the gram, how to find clients and how to get found by clients.
Yeah, so one of the things that I do, I'll just use you as an example, is since we were obviously looking for other interior designers, I go to where they would be. So
Right.
in the Home Depot feed, in HGTV, at
Mhm.
home, all of those like posts, I go and see who's commenting there because they're probably designers most times.
Mhm.
And then go find their pages and kind of interact with them and kind
Mhm.
of start building that base.
Mhm.
And one of the huge things that I think a lot of people don't realize is if you do a reaction to a story or something like that, that's an easy way that you're kind of already in someone's DM without being like, hey, you know, kind of creepy, but you're just like automatically in their DM because you reacted, and then they can like,
Right.
if they want to pursue a conversation with you, they can. It's kind of in their court. It's not too pushy.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's a huge tip for
Mhm.
designers. If you have clients that you see that you don't want to be like pushy with, you can just
Mhm.
interact with their content, and then it's kind of in their court if they want to interact with you back.
Right. So we're talking about interior designers, because that is our niche. That's who we look for. But for you guys who are looking for homeowners and things like that, I
Right.
mean, it really depends on your design style. So where would your clients be hanging out if maybe you're a contemporary or mid-century modern interior designer? Probably apartment therapy. So go to apartment therapy, look through, the top post, look at the comments, and start poking around. And this is where it's a little creepy, but it's kind of like you're shopping for your ideal client. You're looking to see, oh, I like this person. They have great style. Like, I also have kids. Like, I'm going to follow them. And like Annalise said, maybe you're not going to be pushy and start spamming them with like, hey, hi, how are you, and liking, all of their content and commenting. But it's about nurture. So I think the next tip would be nurturing. So how do we nurture people after we find them, after we go to, let's say, Pottery Barn and look for homeowners that we like, or West Elm, look for other people that we can connect with?
Yeah, so once I do that, if they do respond back with like, "Oh, thanks for supporting," or like
Mm-hmm.
just any kind of response, I kind of flag that in,
Mm-hmm.
our DMs, and then in a week or so, just kind of go check their stories again and interact again and kind of like slowly build that kind of relationship with them to where
Mm-hmm.
it's very gradual. It's not like we're just jumping on people,
Yeah, which
but
is what
just
I tend to do. So that's why it's good to, like, okay, if you're not a graphic designer, don't go on Canva and try to make something that's going to be ugly. If you're too overwhelming when you first meet somebody, let a social media manager handle it slowly, because nurturing takes time. I mean, if you're trying to get a client, you don't just overwhelm them with like, okay, you got to buy all my services. We're doing this, right? Let's go. You have to like ease into it, almost like dating. Important, because on the your first date, you don't bring up your ex from 10 years ago or something, and all of your baggage and all of the flaws and things like that. You kind of work towards that. So having little bite-sized chunks over time with your new followers is a great thing. But a lot of my full service interior designers that I help out don't have the time to even do engagement. And with the planned and scheduled add-on service that I have, it's like, okay, we're taking you from doing zero activity on the gram to, let's schedule out our beautiful, graphics that we just finished through the branding package. But we're going to add some captions, we're going to add some custom hashtags, and get kind of in the good graces of the algorithm. But the nurturing takes so much time. So I try to
yeah.
tell my clients, like, if you're not going to look for clients on your own, you're missing out. It's probably 90% of friends and family, right, that you have as followers, or at
Right.
least from what I've seen. But those aren't clients all the time. So you have to kind of go outside of your bubble and look and hunt for those people.
Right. And Instagram wants to see that you're active. So it's more than just having scheduled posts. Like you need to be, because it's a social app. So they want you to be interacting with other people, people interacting with you. So you really need that
Mm-hmm.
aspect too to help your page grow.
Okay, so if you can't post all the time, because a lot of people get what I think is called like the posting guilt, right? So they
Hmm.
feel like, I didn't post today, I should really post tomorrow. Enough of the guilt. Post when you can, but post with
Yes.
purpose. So let's give a tip, because I've heard this tip before, of how to not post and ghost. Can you tell us about that? Posting and ghosting, Instagram does not like.
Yes. So you're typically, even before you post, like 15, 10 minutes before you post, you should be engaging in your feed. And then you post. And then about 10, 15 minutes after, you should continue engaging. So it looks like you're really in the app because they really want you to stay in the app as long as you can. And so they will boost your content if they see, oh, this person is really active, and social. So you
Mhm.
10, 15 minutes before and after should at least be in the app, looking through your explore page, looking through your stories, anything like that will definitely help. And then if you want to get out of the app, that's totally fine.
Well, yeah, I think that's a great tip, because if you don't post consistently, at least when you do, you're
Yeah,
telling the algorithm like, hey, I'm active 10 minutes before, and without just, posting and ghosting, engaging with other people. Because if you do that, they'll get those notifications that, let's say, Amanda Foster, engaged with you. She commented or liked something or reacted to a story. So maybe you engaged with 10 people before you posted, and now those 10 people will probably check out your new content.
right, right. And we another thing too is if you are kind of having that like posting paralysis where you don't know what to post, just put something in stories, something that's like what you're doing, what you're eating, could literally be anything, just because that also pops up on people's page too at the very top. And so if you're interacting with a certain set of people often, then your
Mhm.
stories automatically pop up first in their feed. So even if you can't make a post, just do a story or something is better than nothing.
Yes. So when I do the plan and scheduled out service with my clients and we have everything scheduled out, I remind them once in a while, please check on those days that we post, just 5 minutes. Just take 5 minutes, talk with 5 people, and maybe do a story. I really push them, but I know they're so busy, but they're just like, what do I do a story about? And it's like, well, if you're in a showroom, you can, walk around and give us a story. What's happening in the showroom? Or a selfie of like, hey, I'm on, my way to meet up with the client. I'm super excited, or I'm getting a coffee. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It could literally take 30 seconds.
Yeah, and stories really are for behind the scenes, especially for interior designers. People that are looking to hire you want to see what goes into it behind the scenes. Like that's mainly why people watch HGTV, is to see like all the things that happen for a designer to do. So it's like you can be your own personal HGTV to your client. So just show them what you're doing and they'll definitely interact with that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to put on a lot of makeup or anything. There's filters. I love the filters. I have like this one makeup filter that I always use. So I have zero excuse that like, oh no, I got to do my hair and all that. Like I put on a hat, put on the filter, and now I can have a 30-second or 20-second story that's really easy. So that brings up another point. When my clients come to me, a lot of their feed is random and chaotic and a lot, maybe like too much personal stuff going on. So I try to remind them, this is a business. Talk about your offers, talk about your services. Because a lot of times they're just like, no one's buying, no one's, getting any of my packages. I'm not getting any clients. And 90% of the time after I do an audit of their social media, I'm like, where are your services?
Yeah.
Where are your offers? So that's one thing that we can discuss is how do we find that balance of having the business side and the personal side?
Yeah, and I think too that's where the stories come in. Is
Mhm.
I mean, you can put as much personal stuff as you want in the stories, and that's not
Right.
gonna mess with your feed, because you want someone when they come to your page to be able to right off the bat know what
Mhm.
your services are, how to contact you, what that
Mhm.
process is going to look like, and not having to be scrolling trying to find that information. And
Mhm.
also, which we've done too, is with reels. You can do personal reels and then move them off your feed so they
Mhm.
only
Yeah,
show on your reels page. So
I
like
love
there's
that.
ways around it to where it's not just all personal, like, or too
Right.
much personal mixed with business. You can kind of do both, but it
Mhm.
should be more so business if that's your business page.
Right. And let's talk about another tip that you have that you mentioned before was showing up, showing your face, right? Tell us about that.
Yes, so that really builds trust in people, because especially with interior designers, you're going to be working one-on-one with clients on their home for sometimes months or longer, depending. And so they want to know, what's this personality like that I'm going to be dealing with, that I'm hiring. So
Mhm.
you really want to show your face. And I know for a lot of people that's really awkward and uncomfortable. Even for me, I don't enjoy doing it, but I know that it
Mhm.
takes, 6 to 10 times of someone seeing you before they really
Mhm.
start trusting you and want to hire you. I mean, that's like a big
Mhm.
thing, that someone's going to be
Mhm.
hiring you. So you definitely want to show your face, even if it's just pictures to start with in your feed. You can kind of, like how we do, is get rid of the background and put you on there. So it's just kind of like, hey, I'm here. It doesn't have to be a full picture of you, type
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
So it's not as daunting, but yeah, you definitely should be showing your face.
Yeah, so this is a big thing that I mentioned in my eDesign bootcamp. We have a whole module about how to get more clients and how to be more active on social media. And one of the ways she mentioned is there is a marketing term. You have to be seen between 5 to 7 times from your potential client for them to feel comfortable with you. And it has to be 5 to 7 times that they actually remember you. So if you're hiding behind your logo, if your logo is always changing as well, if you have a random stock image and you're now this version and that version, you're really confusing your client. So I had a client that she constantly changed up her look. She constantly had different wigs, literally wigs. And I've been there, I've done that, but I've learned like people then remember that version and they're waiting to see
Mhm.
that again. But now I'm this version. And so you're kind of confusing your client, and it's going to take 5 to 7 times longer for them to get used to you and build that trust, because stranger danger is real. Like, as online service providers, we're online. We are not meeting them face to face. So when you're at a networking event, it's a lot easier to build that trust because they see you, they hear you, they get your vibe. But online, if they're just seeing a static image of a render or a mood board, well, eventually you're going to have to try to show your face and kind of flood your feed with pictures of you. So it doesn't have to be a video, doesn't have to be a reel. Take some pictures. We've done this, right, Annalise?
Yeah.
And created even GIFs. So I've posed, and in my stories, I have GIFs where I'm kind of moving. And that's our lazy way of showing me without me having to do video all the time. But there's so many ways that you can show up for people to build that trust. Okay, so do you have any other tips for these Instagram people who are failing, who are like, hey, give us
Um,
some more tips?
oh,
Mhm,
yes, I do have another tip
mhm,
that I see a lot of pages that I can tell are very successful and they get a lot of saves, which that tells Instagram people like this content, let's keep pushing it, is they have a lot of really quick reference guides. So 5 different size rugs for this shape room or this furniture arrangement for your living room, and it's like 5
mhm,
different options. Like, that's super easy for someone to save if they wanna try and do it themselves, and then if they realize, "I can't do this," then they come back to you to help them do
mhm,
it. But it's just something that's really easy, quick, savable, and it's something sort of like Pinterest. Like, you go to Pinterest to go find reference guides of, like, furniture styling, what pillows I should use, and it's like,
mhm,
why not just have that? Like, you're that person for them on your Instagram. So just creating
mhm,
like quick, fast things that people either send to somebody else or can and save.
mhm. No, that's a great tip. That's actually something you and I need to do.
Yes, we've talked about that.
Well, we have a ton of crazy content on Foster Decor Consulting. Let's talk a little bit about how much we've done over the years, because I think we started back in 2020.
Yeah, it was during COVID
Mm-hmm.
was when I like officially started my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember actually how we actually met. I can't
I
remember.
found
Like,
you
okay,
through
that's what I thought. You
hashtag.
found me.
So, like, again, I connected a bit more with you because you have that interior design experience. So I'm very thorough when I look at other people's accounts. And like I said, when you do hashtag social media manager, there's so many. And so I had to kind of weed out the ones that just look like, I just do it for any kind of business. You really don't want that. You want someone who understands our interior design industry, who actually works in the industry as well, has the experience. So that's why you really took the cake when it came to that, of like, okay, well, all these other girls are doing like massage as well, because I looked at their portfolios.
Photography is a huge one.
Yeah, photography and things like that. But it was just like, no, I need someone that I don't have to explain my industry and what interior design is or what even e-design is. So I think that's what really helps. When we first met, it was just like, okay, yep, you win. And like I said, you have gone on maternity leave a couple times, and it's okay. But I still needed somebody to, do all the things with my account that I don't want to do. So when I used a different one who wasn't in our industry, I definitely saw, like the difference that really makes. So don't have any more babies, okay?
No, I'm done.
Have another tip. This one is a big one that I work with my clients. So when I do the VIP intensive and I audit their accounts, one of the main things that I see that all clients do really badly is a mix of stock photography, stock images that look like stock photography and stock images, and it just makes your account look a little more amateur. So you have like 3 seconds to impress your potential lead, right? To turn them from cold to warm. And if they go on your page and they see all this random stuff and bad photos and selfies, it is not professional. So when someone wants to hire someone, or even take yourself, like if you saw, a profile like that, it would be like, never mind. So let's talk about the importance of high quality photos. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so just kind of like you said, when you have homeowners or clients that are coming to hire you to
Mhm.
redo their space, make it look nice, and then they come to your page and they don't see nice photos, it's very discouraging and they're just gonna go find somebody else. So it
Mhm.
might be a little bit more money up front, but it's definitely worth it to have very nice pictures done, and then you can just keep reusing them from there. You can repurpose them in stories, repurpose them in reels, however you want to do it. You can, just keep reusing them, but
Mhm.
having good quality pictures that aren't just from your phone will really make a difference, put you aside as being professional. And even if you're kind of more catering towards luxury clients, like you definitely want to look like that.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that want luxury clients, but they don't, spend the money on themselves or on their business. So that's kind of the thing that I've heard a lot is if you're not willing to invest in your business, then don't expect others to. So with that, a lot of clients feel like they're not ready to take those photos. So I've actually created a guide that I give to my clients on how, 2 videos that explain the importance and the difference, and it builds so much trust with the client that they're like, oh, I trust this person because they invested in these photos. This is high quality, this is very approachable, and wow, this is great, like I like this, right? Versus, oh, okay, this is a hot mess on this feed, never mind, goodbye.
Right. And I've seen designers that have been designing for years. And it's unfortunate because their pictures don't show that, and, like, I know that they're good designers, but for a client that doesn't know the industry, doesn't know how long you've been in business, they're just going 5 seconds off of your page, and they've seen HGTV pictures, Magnolia Home pictures, and they're like, "Okay, this is not,
Right.
there." And that's kind of the thing is, like, the general public kind of already has an idea of what an interior design picture should look like. And so if
Mhm.
you're not close to that, then it's immediately you're going to lose that client.
Yeah, so like you said, there's people in the industry who are like 10 years, 15 years, even 20 years in. So I was working on a branding package yesterday, actually, and I was pushing her for the last year to get her photos done. And she just felt like I'm self-conscious and it costs money and I don't know. And finally she did it. So we are able to finish her branding package. And she was like, "Oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? Like this is amazing. It's night and day." Like literally before and after of her accounts is just like, wow, okay. So now as she, starts sharing these photos in her content, social media, her website, welcome packet, like you said, it does quadruple duty, across all of your branding. Now she actually looks the part because she has that experience. She has, so many awards under her belt, so many certifications, but presentation at the end of the day, whether it's on Pinterest, Instagram, your website, 3 seconds, like you said, like they will just, nope, this isn't that HGT, V look. And yeah, that's kind of ruined people for people to kind of have that trust of like, I don't know, like I feel like on TV it's different, but actually, that's reality TV, right? That's a little fake there.
Right.
So get those pictures done, even if you're a newbie, right? You've only been in business for like a year, but you have the degree, you have the experience. Like, get your pictures sooner than later because it really helps your business, like, now.
Right. And it helps too to have those branding images be consistent across your website, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, like whatever you're on, you just want to make sure that those pictures are consistent. Because if someone comes to your Instagram and then they go to their website and it looks completely different, it's like, okay, you don't have it together and I don't know if you can handle my project kind of thing. So it's
Right.
definitely good to have that.
Exactly. When I do these audits, I put all of their links up: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google, their website. And I'd say 80% of the time, they all look different. I would think this was some other interior designer and some other one, and because it's the old logo and the current headshot, but the old headshot and old photos and stock images. And it's just a very, spaghetti mess is what one of my clients called it. She's like, don't look at my stuff. It's a spaghetti mess. Like, it's just, but that's what the branding package is for, that I do for my clients, is with all of the links up, then now we're going to make everything cohesive so we can hit that 5 to 7 marker faster, right? That they need to see you, remember you. And it's so much easier to remember somebody if you have that same professional headshot every single place on all of these marketing platforms. Okay, so is there anything else you can tell us like about social media? I mean, one thing we can mention is that you and I did work together on the Instagram 411. So this
Mhm.
is a mini course specifically for interior designers, made by interior designers, and you helped a lot with that. I think we should even add some more modules to it, but I mean, from that course that we worked on together, what would you suggest? Like, what's a highlight from that could benefit our viewers right now?
So one thing I would definitely say everybody should be doing, and I know that Instagram has come out and said, like, we will be promoting pages that do this, is video content and using their reels and
Mhm.
using shorter content, a minute, 2 minutes max, but really like under a minute is the sweet spot.
Mhm.
Using the trending sounds, any of that is really,
Mhm.
really doing well on Instagram right now.
Yes, and we do have a short little chapter in the mini course all about reels, so you can get, you know, kind of used to it, because the only way that you'll get used to it and not afraid of it is if you try it. So definitely, if you guys are interested, on my website under courses, check out the Instagram 411. Maybe we can also put that down below in the caption on YouTube. But we'll have links to, social by Annalise, of course.
Yay.
Where can we find you? Like, tell them where they can find you, where they can follow you, because you rock. I've been using you for years. I highly endorse her. I don't like to share her, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Instagram. That's where I live. So Social by
Mhm.
Annalise is my handle. You can find me there. Come say
Mhm.
hi. I'm friendly. I won't bite.
Yes, please practice your engagement by sending her a DM. Follow her, but don't say anything too too rapidly. Maybe heart one of her stories, right? The nurturing effect. Well, it was so great to have you. I mean, we could talk about social media all day, and that's why we created that mini course together. So down below, we'll also have a link for the Instagram 411 for interior designers, made by interior designers, if you want more tips, because it's just packed with so much. There's even a workbook. We have a workbook in there too, so that you can, get more active on the gram. Oh, actually, you want to edit this in the tips. Can you tell us about content pillars? I hate that I keep hearing this. It's kind of confusing because I've had content pillars done by maybe like 3 different people, and it always is a little bit different. So, what would you suggest for someone who's like, okay, I hear about content pillars, I need to create them for myself? what do they do?
So I personally think that the content pillars is more so helpful in planning your content out, just
Hmm.
so it kind of breaks it down and you're not like, I have all these ideas, I don't know what to do with them. So it kind of
Hmm.
helps you categorize them, organize it, get them, actually scheduled.
Hmm.
But it could differ page to page. So for some people, it's one educational, one service, one fun. Other
Hmm.
people, it's 2 services and 1 fun, or 2 fun and 1 service. It
Hmm.
really can change depending on what your audience wants, so I would
Hmm.
kind of try it out for a month or 2, see what the insights look like, and then kinda go from there, like, "Okay, are the fun ones more pulling in? Can I
Hmm.
maybe mix a service into a fun one?" So that
Hmm.
it's, like, kind of still showing what I do, but it's not so pushy, salesy.
Hmm.
So it can really change. I think the main point of the content pillars is just to make sure you have a variety and it's not just one thing all the time. And it's kind of just helps you plan your content better.
Right. Okay. So basically, what she's saying, from what I'm understanding, is you just don't want to have content back to back to back, the same thing over and over again, which sometimes I want to do, but the content pillars are a good way to remind, like, hey, maybe on Monday we only do like mood boards, not every single day. Okay, all those interior designers out there, you know who you are, you do mood boards like all week. Like, have the different content pillars, right? For it's just not design or renders, it's also talk about those services, and then maybe have a quote that's inspiring if you really can't think of anything, but you're at least mixing it up, right? That's the general idea. Mix up your
Right.
content. Don't just show us your dog. Okay. And I'm referencing a client where she's so obsessed with her pets. Her page is 90% her pets. So that's where it's like, okay, content pillars come in. Let's
Yeah.
talk about our offers, our services. Let's give a tip, right? And that's where the quick references come in, right? What are like the 5 different rug types, or how do you hang curtains appropriately? And there's so many different infographics that you can explore from Pinterest, get some ideas, and now you have some educational content that teaches your client how to do something. And then maybe the next day you can bring in the pet or whatever.
Or put that in stories.
Yeah, that's
Post as
definitely a
much as you
story.
want in stories.
Well, I just worked with a client, Joanna McLean, and her dog is kind of a part of her brand. It's really cute. And she showed me this other interior design firm that they have their dog as their logo and their mascot. And so, like, I get it. It's kind of cute and fun, but I told her it can't be 90% of your feed. As cool as he is, like, he might need his own page, but you
Yeah.
guys could collab sometime.
Yeah.
But I did do a really cute graphic for her that was meet the team, and it was all about Joanna. And then I said, okay, the following week, post this, and it's, meet Nala. And it's
Oh.
all the tips about Nala. And we did it in a fun way that she's the design assistant. So you
Oh.
can have some fun with it, but don't make it the whole page, please don't. Like, well, we have a ton of more tips, but we put them all in the Instagram 411 mini course. So if you guys want to learn more, check that out. It'll be in the description below. If you have questions for Annalise, go follow her account. She is at
Social by Annalise.
send her a DM, tell her I sent you. But I can't, endorse you, higher than I can. Like, I highly recommend you. You are my number one girl. I hate when you get pregnant and you go on maternity leave. I don't know what to do with myself. But I don't want people to think out there that I'm not engaging with you guys. Like, I still am, out there saying hi, but she does a lot of that for me because we're busy, interior designers, like, consultants, graphic designers, web design. I'm juggling so many things. And if you're the same way and you just can't make it onto the gram, you need someone like Annalise to help you out. Why would you recommend, that we hire you? What can you do for our accounts? I mean, I already know why
Yeah.
with my account. I would be so inactive without you. Like, you push me to, collaborate and work on things together and get my account in the good graces of the algorithm. So for them who don't know, why should they hire you? What can you do for them?
Yeah, I think apart from the engagement side that a lot of people just don't want to do is the amount of time that having a social media manager can save you because you're not having to plan content, post it, come up with captions, hashtags, and then engage on top of that. So it's
Mhm.
a ton of time that it's like that's just time back that you can have into your business, into your
Mhm.
design work, like what you actually want to be doing. So I think the biggest thing is the amount of time that it saves.
So she's been a lifesaver. I can't thank you enough for being on Peer to Peer, talking about all things social media, talking about our relationship, and all the good things that we put in Instagram 411. So check it out. Thanks, you guys. Tune into the
Thanks for
next
having
episode.
me.
Of course. Bye, Annalise.
Bye.
Feel free to reach out with any questions anytime. I'm super excited to always get to know my community of e-designers and interior designers. If you have any topic requests, be sure to also send those my way. I'm super excited to create episodes that are going to help you guys, my peers. So Peer to Peer, thanks again.